Hey, welcome back. We are on lesson 9 in the book Fervent by Priscilla Shirer, where we are exploring our most effective tool that we have against the enemy, which is prayer. And we are learning about strategies that we can use to make our prayer life even more effective. And we're learning about ways that the enemy comes in to rob us of our most effective weapon against the enemy. And today we are going to be talking about our hurts and unforgiveness specifically. Have you ever been offended? Have you ever failed to forgive somebody for that offense and just kind of carried that wound and have been a walking wounded person? She talks in here about an offense that she carried and that her prayer life became bland and meaningless and ineffective. And it wasn't until she realized that source of that offense and forgave that individual that her prayer life became vibrant and fervent again. If somebody has done something to you, either big or small, and driven a wedge into your life with them and with God, if your prayers seem to be falling flat, I want to challenge you to examine your hurts and how they play a part in your prayer life. And in the book, on page 153, she says, "Unforgiveness is a strategic design craftily implemented by your enemy to outwit you, to cripple your effectiveness in prayer and your power to stand against him victoriously, which is why if I were your enemy, I would do everything possible to keep you from forgiving anyone and everyone who has ever done you wrong." See, sometimes we have to forgive others that aren't sorry, but we still have to forgive them. We can't hold them accountable for the sin that they did against us. We need to let God hold them accountable for their sin. God's going to deal with their sin. It's not our job, but it's our job to forgive. And if once you forgive, you see that it's more about you than it is the other person. It's more about clearing away the clutter and continuing to make that path between you and Jesus straight. When you forgive somebody, it doesn't necessarily mean that you forget what they've done or that you become a doormat. You still are smart. You still are sharp. But that forgiveness just destroys the barrier of that unforgiveness has, bitterness, rage, all of those things separate us from our Father, and render our prayer life ineffective. So I want to challenge you. Look inside your heart. See who has ticked you off. See who has offended you. Even if it's somebody who's no longer living, forgive them. Release that so that you can open up. In the Bible, in the Lord's Prayer, when they were talking about the Lord's Prayer, it says, "Forgive others so that you may be forgiven." So I just want to challenge you to walk in forgiveness today. Walk in the freedom of forgiveness. Release that person and walk in freeness of forgiveness and revive your fervent prayer life. God bless.